Switch around to the trash man.
And here comes the air. I assume air conditioning, since it's hot. We shall see.
Huh. I wonder where a vent is. Well, I mean, clearly there's a vent in here, but...
Where are the rest of the vents in this place? I don't recall there being one in my bedroom. I know Eric's got one. I don't recall one being in my bedroom or Ryan's room, but there probably is one. Somehow I'm just oblivious to it. I would actually like to look that up. I'm going to write down look for events. I don't know if I've written on this page yet. I'm just going to write the top. Look for events.
What would be crazy is if this pen's not even writing. Oh, man. Or I, like, get out and there's, like, all this extra writing that I didn't write. Or I, like, blacked out or something. That's called when you know you went crazy. That would be freaky, but we're going to assume that that does not happen. Oops, there you go, the air stopped. Trash man did not. This is silly. I was thinking of Jurassic Park and the electric fences and whether electricity would be conducted through. Because I believe I remember Alan Grant throwing a stick on the fence to test it. And I was wondering what it would look like if it was on. Would it like shoot back, or would there be sparks, or what would happen? And then all of a sudden, for some reason, I was reminded of well, then I started imagining, well, then maybe he should hold on to it rather than letting go of it and see if it, like, traveled through his body. I didn't know if it'd be a good conductor of electricity, and then I started thinking of Ren and Stimpy, where it's, don't whiz on the electric fence. Such a random show. Even more random board game. That is all. Carry on.
Isn't that on Nickelodeon? It's just crazy. How is that show ever on Nickelodeon?
Alright, I'm gonna stop picking my toe because that one's deep and I feel like I'm gonna make it bleed. I think I'm going to eat my chips and guacamole now. That is what I think. I'm feeling like it. Whoa. There's my water. Whoa. Thank you, Sarah, for this. Chips and guacamole. Mostly the guacamole part of it because prior to Wednesday I didn't know that Costco sold guacamole, so I wouldn't have it. So I didn't have to listen for her. I'm trying to find out. I think this is where the problem is I can't see it, so it's a weird thing to eat. It's like the, what do you call it? The lotion and stuff in the shower. The body wash, you don't know how much you're using. Oh, that's a lot, see? That was a lot of guacamole just now. I want to go. That time I thought I was going to have a lot, and I didn't. The guacamole doesn't smell good, but it tastes delicious. Was this last night I've seen that? Yeah, it was. Oh, no! A huge chunk of guacamole fell off of my chip into my belly button. Alright, I'd like to take a shower now. Oh my gosh. It's like all over my stomach. This is weird. I'm like eating guacamole out of my belly button. Well, anyways. Do we have that tissue box or toilet paper or something? Here we go, toilet paper. That was very weird. Although, I'm happy it fell on my belly button rather than, like, on the blanket. Because that's what I need to lay on later. So, count my blessings.
Where is it? Am I in the trash can? Yeah, there it is. Okay. Okay. We'll assume that is okay. Alright. Where's that glove? There it is. I'll try to be careful. Although I thought I was being. So maybe. Dang it. I just broke like 3 chips. I just want to say anyone that's mean to a blind person is a jerk, because this is hard. You know, I actually need to freaking write down. Once I'm done with this and my hands are clean, I need to write down to look at what my grade is. Because I keep forgetting to do that. I always remember when I'm on the road. Not that my grade matters too much, but I'm so curious. It's actually the first class my grade has not mattered at all. Because I'm not going for a degree. And I'm not taking any classes that class is a prereq for, so it's pretty awesome. Same with tax and auditing. My grade will be completely irrelevant. That's cool. I mean, it's probably good and bad, but I say mostly good for me. chips are the worst. Oh my gosh. Could we keep one freaking chip intact? Just trying to finish this. I spilled on my underwear. No! I can feel it. It's moist. Dang it. Well, on the bright side, the only change of clothes I have in here happen to be a underwear. So, let's throw that in the trash because we're done with it. Pull up the chips.
I think I saw my notes too, didn't I?
Apparently, as delicious as that was, eating messy foods in a pitch black room, maybe not the best idea. Oh man, I'm not gonna get water so fast. Let's drink my water first. Alright, water is done. 2 meals done. I'm gonna wash my hands. What the freak? There's something in here. What is in here? Ah! Fuck you! Tissue box. Ah. Not cool, guys. Oh, yeah. Have I mentioned that being blind would be hard? Dang it. Well, I just washed the tissue box like an idiot. Now I'm gonna wash my hands. My face. Dang it. I can't believe I just did that. Oh, yeah. Okay. Alright, we'll put this underwear in the shower. No one needs it. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's for all my extra clothes. Those we will not put in the shower, because we might need those. Dang it, I can't believe I just freaking washed the tissues. An idiot. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's my notepad, that's right. You know, where you're like taking notes and stuff. Aw, man, that means I've lost one of my pens. I am on a roll. Where's the chip bag? Press for the chip flip back on. I mentioned I'm very hard blind. All of life's simple things. So I found the pen. Yes! Victory is mine. Alright. I'm going to use the restroom, RQ. Oy, oy, oy. Who knew eating chips could be so hard? I'm still so mad about those tissues. I don't know why. The tissues are fine, but the box is completely soggy and gross.
It'll probably be fine, not a big deal, but still a little annoying.
I don't know, like, I was not expecting anything in there. And then, like, it was just a fascinating process. Like, I wasn't expecting anything in there, and then trying to figure out what the freak would be in there, and then what is the shape that I'm feeling. I don't know. I was at a loss for what it could be, but I guess eventually I figured it out. Now, if only I could find the underwear. Is it there? Yes, I found it. Dory's mine. Alright, guys, I am ready for the next half of my day. Let's find that tissue box. There it is. Hello, tissue box. My apologies for making you all wet. Here is my notepad. There's my pen. Cool. Here are the clothes. Cool, guys. Cool. That was a really good snack. I'm happy I had that. This underwear is a bit tighter than the other one. That's less enjoyable. Boy. I think it's weird. I'm looking at the room now, and I can see the light from the door, because I'm not looking at that different spot now. I can see the light from the door, and I can see the light on the wall that is cast from the door. And yeah, for some reason when I was sitting down on the floor, I did not see that light on the wall. It's a very weird phenomenon. Maybe the light from the door is making my eyes adjusted to the light on the wall. And without that, I don't see it for some reason. I'm not sure. All I know is that there was guacamole in my belly button, and it's not there anymore, so that's good. Am I gonna eat anything for dinner that's gonna be messy? I hope not. I have to eat it naked. Just kidding. What do I got? 2 sandwiches. And I think I just had 2 sandwiches and cookies, and then my snacks. No dairy, no lactate pill, so bring it on, I guess. This could be, that would be horrible. Just because I didn't bring a friggin' pill in, I had like this super long night of like pain and cramps and all that, where I couldn't sleep. Because that's supposed to be my easy 8 hours, in case anyone's wondering. As much as I'm annoyed by the clock because I can tell what time it is, it actually is turning out to be kind of helpful as a motivator of realizing that I don't have as long to go or something. Because otherwise I could be curious as to like, oh, maybe it's only been 10 minutes. Well, obviously not 10 minutes, but like 2 hours or something. Because time does not exist in here. I mean, theoretically it does, but it doesn't exist the same way. It's a weird feeling where you feel like time isn't the same. Time is whatever it is. I feel like that would have been a weird experiment to do. I mean, I don't want to do it. I'm done after this, just in case anyone's wondering, in case we need to clarify for anybody. After 24 hours is up, I'm done. I'm good probably for life, I would imagine. But what would be an interesting experiment would have been if I hadn't realized the clock was going to go off, which I'd forgotten about, to basically have the sound off from the clock and not have an alarm outside the door, and then basically to exit when I thought I was at 24 hours. Having no idea what time I'm actually exiting at. and then finding out whether I exit before 24 hours, whether I exit after 24 hours, and by how much. That'd be interesting. I feel like I would end up doing it if I did that, I would have to tape up this door, because the fact that I can see the light, that is a clear indication. And that's part of the reason I think I'm okay with knowing what time it is and being able to, like, you know, hear the clock outside. Because if I couldn't see that, because I know that basically at some point when it gets dark tonight, those lights are going to start to go down. Because there are some lights that I'm seeing through that are basically coming through because it's bright outside. And as those go away, then you realize it's nighttime. Therefore, that basically tells me that I basically am not supposed to reopen the door until it's light outside. So if I were to do that game, like I said, I would have to take this off. Or I'd have to tape that up. But, because I didn't do that, I clearly know that it's daytime. It's so weird. I mean, I guess I understand why people think it's weird that I'm in here. It is a very weird concept. That, like, people are just going about their day, and I decided that I'm going to spend an entire day locked inside of a room without any light, without anything to do, and just basically give myself 3 meals and a notepad to write random thoughts on it, and a recording device, and that's it. I mean, I guess I can understand why people think it sounds torturous. Obviously, the longer it goes, the more I'm starting to understand that, but it is a weird idea. The weird things, the weird quirks that drive me. I'm standing right now, by the way, in case anyone's wondering. The clock just went off. I think it's 3:30. Because I think it was 3:15 while I was eating. I mean, 6.5 hours left. Theoretically. I keep saying theoretically because I could go sleep whenever I want. I go sleep right now if I wanted to. I'm not going to because it's 8, but I'm just saying I could. I ate 2.5 hours about. 6 o'clock. Because I ate lunch a while ago. And then I will eat dinner at 6-ish. Dinner's not that big, so it'll be fine. I'm gonna be so excited to come out of this freaking room. That's a feeling that you can describe to someone maybe, but I bet people just can't feel it unless you've done this. And I feel like most people would not ever choose to do this. And they're probably fine with that. And they're like, whatever, I don't need to have that feeling. I haven't had the feeling yet, so I can't act like it's going to be amazing. But I'm pretty sure, based on what I'm feeling now, and the fact that I want to open that door, I feel like it'll be awesome. That's what I think. It is really warm though today. Although it probably doesn't help that I'm sitting on top of a blanket. I'm sure if I were on top of just a cold tile, then I would feel cold. If I put my hands on the walls and stuff, it's cold. I think it's just that my body's giving off heat, and I'm basically sitting on pillows and blankets and stuff that are heated up. These are warm blankets, and it's like the 2 warmest ones we got. We got the Angel's blanket and the other one that has the like the wool or whatever on it. So makes it a little harder to be cold when you do that, is what I'm saying. I really am curious if anyone's still listening. If you've gotten to this part as well, could you tell me specifically that you've gotten to this part? Because getting to the first part was like only like an hour or two or whatever in. This is like quite a few hours in. I would like to know who's actually this dedicated. Because I will respect you and value you as a person in my life, just in case anyone's wondering. So, if you get to this part, please tell me. Thank you. Tell me you got to part 2. I think that's important. We'll call the other part part 1. We'll call the other part Ziggly Bucks, so that only people that get to this part will know that that's what it's called. Ziggly Bucks. What does that mean? No one knows. I don't know. But we know. We all know now. We'll come up with a fun name for the later version too, if you get to the end. I won't tell you when the end is though. Only we'll know, the ones that get there. I have to know, unfortunately, because I have to take this journey. I guess I don't have to. Technically, I could open the door right now and just be done. But I don't really want to. I don't know. I remember earlier on, I think it was at like the 2 or 3 hour mark, I was like, this is what it's going to be like, huh? And I was kind of bored, and I was kind of like, I'm ready to be done. But I think now that I'm past the halfway point, not really, but theoretically, I think that makes it more doable. Because I'm really ignoring the whole sleeping part. I've already proven that I could sleep on this floor, and that was the important part. If there was no blankets or pillows, I would be fearing for that part. But because I can sleep on that, how did I sleep before? Was I sleeping on pillows? I imagine I was sleeping on pillows. I think I was sleeping on pillows with blankets. But the point is, I'm ignoring that part. That's an 8 hour part of it, and that's 8, 16, 24. That's a whole third of the day. So that only leaves 16 hours left, of which case we've decided, what, it's 3:30 now? So I've done 5, 6, 7, 8 hours of it, and we say there's 16. So I've done half of it. Is that accurate? Well, yeah. Half plus 1/16 of a half of an eighth. Or 4/3. Yep. I think the part that's messing me up, I would like to be woken up by my alarm clock if possible. That would be ideal. If my alarm clock can go off outside of the door while I'm sleeping and wake me up, that's what I would like to have happen. But I have a feeling that I'm going to wake up at like 5 or 6 and then have to like chill out here for a little bit. And the problem with that is not that only that it's going to be boring, but the problem with that is that that's usually when I'm really hungry. And I won't really have anything in here except almonds and chips. So I'm not really looking forward to that. But hey, if that happens, I can start to debrief myself and get acclimated to the world out there that I left behind. It really would be nuts. I mean, I say that, but I guess it wouldn't really be any different. Like, I joke about the idea that, like, what if there's, like, an apocalypse going on out there right now and I'm oblivious to it. But the problem is, like, because I don't really do anything, I probably wouldn't notice. Like, I'd probably be inside all day reading or playing video games or something. Like, I think that's the thing that I'm failing to mention at times or realize is that today would probably be boring regardless. I mean, yesterday I went for a bike ride. That was fun, but I'm not going to do a bike ride again today. So, I mean, what would I be doing? I guess I'd be playing video games, but eventually I'm not going to play video games all day. I've already learned that. I don't do that. If given the opportunity to play all day, I will not. I only like playing video games for a very long time when I'm not supposed to or don't have time to do it. But when I have plenty of time, I don't like doing it as long. So I would finish Jurassic Park, I would play video games, but then eventually I'd get a point where I'm bored. But that's probably when I would go on and I guess that's the difference, is that because of social media, they basically are my news source. That I would look on Facebook and people would be like, oh my gosh, the world is ending. And then I would know the world's ending. Opposed to in here, it's delayed by a day. I don't know that anything's happening. Unless a meteor were to fall through the sky or something, then I am pretty sure I'm good to go. Unless someone were to raid into my house. But if someone raided into my house, I don't actually know what I would do. I thought about that. I guess that's when I would grab my phone and dial 911 or something. And assume that no one's going to come in here and get quiet. But who knows? Who knows indeed? So hopefully Eric and Reese don't come over or something silly, because I'm totally call the cops on you guys. But yeah. I guess that's just all the point I'm trying to make though. I think today would be a relatively boring day regardless. I would hang out with the cats, I'd play video games, I'd read my book, but in general I'm not going to be doing too much. So the only difference is I'm doing an experiment in here, all on my own. I guess crazy note 7 is that I occasionally look outside the door to see if I'll see a shadow or anything and feel like maybe there could be someone on the other side. I don't really think there's anyone over there, I just think that'd be really scary if there was. That is all. I don't know if we're on 7 or 8. All these little crazy things I do. It's such a, I talk about time not existing in here, it's such a weird feeling. I basically, when I was just done talking about whatever I was just talking about being crazy, I guess, I would just stand here, in place, looking at nothing, with not really any thought in my head. I'm just staring off into space, not thinking about anything. And, occasionally I'm thinking about stuff, sure, but in general, I'm just, sitting here. It's a weird feeling, because I feel like we live in such a go-go kind of world that you don't ever have the time to just sit down and just relax and chill out, and it's nice. I mean, it's also boring, but there are times where I just go, oh wow, I was just kind of staring there off into space and standing still doing nothing. I'm not comfortable, I'm not doing anything, I'm just standing here. Staring into blackness. Whatever. Yep. 24 hours I won't get back, but I'm sure I've wasted it more than 24 hours doing other nonsense in my life, so whatever. Also, I was thinking about it just now, just for a split second, so but now I'm thinking about it. I think I was kind of complaining about how this room's so small. I think, personally, I would be more scared and more likely to go crazy had this either been a room that I did not know. If someone just threw me into a room that I did not know, I think I'd be more scared about that room. Because there are unknowns about a room that you don't know. I know, I grew up with this room. I know all the ins and outs. I know, besides for the fact that there's a random tissue box in the sink because I'm an idiot, in general, I know everything about this room. I know where everything is. I think that's where the vent is. I know where the vent is now because I just thought about it. It's right there above the shower. There's two of them. There's one there and one there. I'll have to look into that later. But in general, I know this room. Obviously, I prepped the room. I made it a little better for me. If I did not have the pillows and blankets, it would be 10 times worse because it would be super uncomfortable. I was guaranteed I'd be standing the entire time, and that would be uncomfortable. Actually, no, I'd probably be in the tub because the tub's not that uncomfortable. The only reason I'm not in the tub is because I feel like there's mold in the tub. So my parents need to clean that. So that's what I feel like I would be doing. But the point is that if I were just thrown in a room, I think that would be scarier because there's a lot of unknowns. I'd probably, I talked to Natalie about it a little bit, I would probably spend time looking around the room and trying to think of a way to get out. And so that would be at least, I think it would make time go by faster in a sense, in the fact that you're actually trying to work towards a goal. I joked with her about like, oh yeah, I should have hired someone to kidnap me and throw me in a room and tell me I have 24 hours to get out before they kill me, because that at least would give me something to do. But I think the other thing that would be scary would be if this room were a lot bigger. I think there's something to be said, like, I guess maybe someone could feel, is it 4 o'clock? I think it's 4 o'clock just now. I think there's the obvious understanding that there could be claustrophobia for being in such a small area for such a long time. But I feel like this room isn't that small. Like, obviously I wish sometimes it was bigger. But at the same time I don't. Because I feel like if it were a really big room, like say it was like my living room, there'd be so much empty space that I feel like you would start to get scared of all that empty space out there. Like, assuming it was pitch black like this. Obviously if it's not pitch black, then who cares? Because you can see everything. But if it's pitch black, like, I feel like you could totally start to get paranoid that there's, like, someone else in the room. Like, yeah. Like, all those corners of the room that, like, or the center of the room, like, it's just so much space. I feel like having a smaller room is kind of, like, to a degree, a comfort blanket. So, while I don't necessarily like the smallness of this room, and I definitely don't like the uncomfortableness of this room, I can appreciate it for that reason alone. Because I think that part would scare me. I do get scared of the dark at times. So yeah. I think I used to fear death less too. Because I think I used to be, when I was religious. I think because in my mind I lived a good life. So if I were to die, it wouldn't be a big deal because I'd just go to heaven. But I think now that I think that life basically is only one shot, you don't get any continues or infinity lives when you die. I think I do fear death more. So I'm probably more likely to be afraid of stuff like that now. That's what I think. Also, I think if I were in the living room on that, what do you call it, Easy Boy or relaxing chair or whatever, the one that reclines, the chair that reclines, if I were in that chair inside a room like this, it would be a million times easier. I'm sure I would eventually start to find that chair uncomfortable because I'm an idiot and people don't know what they have until it's gone. But I almost guarantee it would be so much more easy to handle. And that's why I think part of me putting like blankets and pillows and stuff on the floor is a little unfair if I'm really trying to go for that isolation idea that like prisoners would have, because they would probably be in a cold room. It might even be a hot room, I'm not sure. But basically they're in a room in pitch black. It's actually probably very similar to this. The only difference is that they do not get blankets and pillows. I would imagine they're just on the cold or hot, uncomfortable floor that's very hard, and they don't get the occasional cats clawing on the door. They don't get to be talking to an audio recording, feeling like they have some sort of companionship, because although I understand none of you are here, it probably is helping me to get through it. Although there's been times where I've forgotten it is here. I've like legit forgotten it's here, and I'm just like go in my brain, and I can talk to myself no problem inside my head. So I don't think it'd be horrible. I I might have less to say, I guess, is what it is, because when it comes to all of you, which is probably like nobody at this point, because we're like, what, 8+ hours in. When it comes to all of you, I feel like I can explain things, and that takes time and explanation, and I like going through that process myself. But the problem is, I wouldn't do that if it were me. Although I might, because there are times where I talk to myself and I kind of explain something, even though I already know the answer, obviously, so maybe I would, who knows. Maybe I am a little crazy, but I enjoy it. I enjoy my brain. I like my life. I like me. Reese texted me this morning. I didn't respond to it. I just told her. What are the people I texted this morning? I texted Lauren last night because I told her I wanted to tell her happy birthday yesterday because her birthday's today, and I knew I was going in today, so I wouldn't really be able to say it. I guess I probably could have done it beforehand, but whatever. I didn't want to forget. So I told Lauren happy birthday yesterday and that I was going today. She told me to be safe and not go crazy, and thanks. But this morning I texted Reese, Christy, and Natalie, just the three of them, because they all go crazy thinking about me, about making sure I'm going to be okay. I think Reese probably the craziest, but she was probably the most worried about me, but I think that's because Reese thinks everything's crazy, so that is one of her favorite words to throw out there, is crazy. What was I was going somewhere with this, hold on. Dang it. Oh, that's where I was going with this, is that, so I texted them all this morning, but Reese was the only one that texted me before I did that, and she basically, I think she had read my blog. She might have done it last night. She did it last night or she did it this morning. I think she did it this morning right before I went in, because otherwise I would have seen it earlier. But I guess last night, when I saw Punch Drunk Love, he was a little crazy. Well, actually, he was a lot of crazy. And the girl he kind of fell in love with, she was pretty crazy too. But I talked about how, at the bottom, I think it was in the fun fact section, about how Christy and I used to question at times whether I might have some sort of autism. And I only talk about ever so slight, so maybe that's why Reese and I had a little disconnect on it. But Reese texted me this morning, she's like, "Oh, you're not autistic, it's fine." And I think part of me is like, well, I understand I'm not autistic. I never said I was autistic. I just maybe share some of the characteristics that autistic people have. But at the same time, I guess that would, to a degree, make me autistic. It's just that I have very mild autism or whatever. And I don't know. I don't necessarily disagree with that. I think I do have a very mild case of autism, or at least I share some of the characteristics. But at the same time, I think when Reese was trying to tell me that I don't have autism, it was kind of like, because I've told people that before, and I think people kind of like shoot it down, like, no, you're fine. And I don't view it as anything's wrong with me. I was just trying to explain that I think I share some of those characteristics. And I think that's part of the problem, is why people can't accept that maybe I have some characteristics of it, is because I think people view autism as a bad thing, as like something's wrong with you, whereas I just think it's a slightly different quirk that makes you less normal by society standards, but nothing wrong with you. It's just that as maybe some social characteristics are lessened, there are other characteristics that are increased. That, I mean, you can't have it all. So you can't have someone who's awesome socially and awesome intellectually and awesome physically and awesome everything. Obviously, some things have to give and take. And so I'm just saying that based on looking at the characteristics that autistic people have, and they don't have them all, everyone has like different combinations and such, I have a few of those things. And so I just say that I possibly very well could have a slight, very mild form of autism. It doesn't mean that I'm autistic, or like that I'm full-blown autistic or have Asperger's or anything crazy. It's just that I have some little quirks that make me a little more socially awkward is all. But I also think that, I mean, not to toot my own horn, I think I have very amazing ideas that go on inside my head, like intellectually and philosophically and things like that, that I think a lot of people who are super social don't ever seem to express to me. And like when I talk to them about it, it's like all over their head. Like, what are you talking about? Like, come back down to reality. Let's talk normal. So I think that's the disconnect, is that people, when I tell them that I think I might be slightly autistic, they view it as a problem. And I view it as, it's fine, it's just that means I'm slightly different, and that's cool. Like, so I think that's where there's a little bit of a people not comprehending or being so ready to shoot it down. That is my understanding or my take on the situation. Very well may be that they don't think any of that, and they just think I don't share any of those characteristics that autistic people do share, but I think they also don't realize that I do have to work very hard to be as socially functional as I am at times. So that is all. But I appreciate you texting me this morning, Reese. You're a cool lady. I look forward to you and Eric getting married and you becoming a poly. It's really hot in here. It's crazy. Let's stand on the tile for a bit. See if that helps. I think it's weird for the lightning realm that I can't really... I have trouble thinking of things sometimes. Like, there's so much to do in the world, and it's not like... I swear, like, I'm not, like, being picky about it. I'm actually, like, pretty open to, like, doing whatever. And I'm like, hey, I'll do that. But I think the problem is just finding things that I can do or will do or whatever. I also would like to point out that I actually think it's getting darker in here. So it makes me think that it was raining earlier today, and or it's just getting really dark really early. Like, earlier than I thought. But I thought it was supposed to start getting longer, so... I thought we hit that turning point, so 4 o'clock or whatever seems a little early for it to begin in this dark. But when I was sitting over there before, there was totally like light on that wall, and there's not anymore, or at least there's not as much. I don't think it's there. I feel like it's really dark out. I feel like it's raining today, or it's some sort of gloomy weather. Huh? Interesting. Well, if that's the case, I'm happy I went riding my bike yesterday, not today. And that's all I got to say about that. Bubba was my best good friend. I love Forrest Gump. Such a good movie. I can't believe I watched that thing from beginning to end, basically. That's nuts. Seriously, probably missed like 5 minutes of it. That movie is so addicting, so easy to sit down and watch the entire thing. It's crazy. I forget what I was doing that night. Was I posting a blog? I don't recall. Was that the night I watched Uncle Buck? Did I watch Uncle Buck and then Forrest Gump? I do not know. I don't think so. But it's very possible. Might have been Source Code and then Forrest Gump. Oh, there's probably Goon and then Forrest Gump. What a weird movie. I'm not really sure why I'm standing, but I think just to shake it up. But I very much so am. Not saying it very straight though. I should probably work on that. Might as well. Roll my shoulders back. It is 4:15. I think fear of heights is a weird thing too. Because I think about it just now because I can sit on the, I'm right now sitting, just dangling my feet on like the edge of this, what do you call it, the counter? Yet I would never, in a billion years, consider doing that. Like, look at that, I'm like leaning against it. Whoa, I could totally fall off. But the problem is, there's no fear, because I can touch the ground. See, I'm now back off. And yet, I would never consider that in a million years. Obviously there's more to lose, so it's different. But it's just, it's so weird. Like, fear is such a construct of the mind that it's weird that we can create it so easily but destroy it so difficultly. You know? Because fear of heights, while understandable in the sense that you don't want to fall and die, and not to say that one should dangle their feet off the edge. One could, though, and it would be fine. I mean, you better make sure that the edge is, like, secure and stuff, and it's not windy up wherever you are very high up. I'm just saying, theoretically, you could do it. And, yeah. I think that's one of the reasons I want to walk on some sort of a beam that's high up and safe. Because I think that's kind of the idea, is that walking on a beam down low does not scare me at all. And then yet, when you add on that extra height, it, for some reason, makes it totally scary. And it's just, well, not for some reason. Like I said, it makes sense. The impact is scary. You don't want to die. But at the same time, it's so fascinating that fear can be constructed, and yet it's very hard for you to dissolve fear until you face fear. So it's very fascinating. Like, if there's someone on the other side of this door, whatever. I mean, it's scary, but it's gonna happen. Might as well face it somehow. But easier said than done, obviously. I think with most things, with most fears, easier said than done. Because, yeah, I mean, there's things that you can't control, like the adrenaline, your heart beating really fast, and your legs start to get wobbly, or whatever. Like, it's just, the mind's a powerful thing. And it's hard to, once it starts taking over your physical body, it's really hard to shut it down. I've tried many times with heights, and that's why I'm happy I have contacts, because I feel like contacts makes it so much easier for me to actually challenge it, because maybe that was my crutch, maybe it was my excuse, I don't know, but the point is that